Welcome back, everybody, to the newest episode of The Replacements. I don't have the number off the top of my head ready, but it's the off-season episode where we are going to be moving from Washington, being known as the Redskins, aka the Replacements, as we transition to Oklahoma City to become a member of that productive community and will be known as the Bison. We left off last week's episode with you guys suggesting what players might have done enough, because everyone that was on the Replacements roster was on a one-year deal. We had the option, because with all those players, we made the option that if they performed at a certain level, we would pick up said option, and they will have an opportunity to remain on the Oklahoma City team. And we're left with 24 players. We got 24 of a 53. I'm going to be honest with you, we're probably at a point in time where half of these players will be cut. We have Randall Cunningham, Teron Beckham, and Denard Robinson. We got B.D. Mullins, Percy Harvin, DGB, Deron Carter, Tim Tebow. On the offensive line, we got Bear Jones, Reese Dismukes, Skyscrape Mullins, Michael Sam, I.K. Ekampali, Ron Ollie, Sean Oakman, Willie Williams, Chris Borland. We got Luchez Perifoy, Eiffel Ekpre Olamu, Senquez Golson, Gerard Hollyman, Taylor Mays, Cody Pruitt, and Donald De La Haye. And I just need to remind everybody, just because some people think, like, what's going on? Donald De La Haye, just to be clear, destroying, that most of you guys know him on YouTube, one kicker of the year, and got a nice little awareness upgrade. So he's one of the best kickers in the league. And we're just absolutely ecstatic that we're able to lock him up, because he's actually going to be, most likely one of our better players to open up next season. So we need to start before we even jump into the offseason. Before we even look, right now we have a head coach vacancy. We need to catch you guys up with the official report between the Replacements and the NFLPA to kind of give you guys the groundwork, the framework of how this offseason is going to go. And you'll also see how the NFLPA, Commissioner Goodell, has absolutely gone out of their way to shaft this organization going forward. So understanding that there's going to be pretty much the most difficult job, even more so than the Replacements, because now we kind of have that contract in place in the NFLPA. There's not this big, drastic storyline going on. We are now at a severe disadvantage where we're not going to be able to sign anyone in the first 4 waves of free agency. We're not going to be able to probably have our first 2 picks in the first round. Who wants this job? We got, we got Hendrick, we got Pitta. Knowing for me personally, I like to run a 4-3. The defensive scheme is going to be important. John Gruden's there. We could definitely see John Gruden. We got Mike Zimmer, fits everything we're kind of looking. We got Roger McClinton, Sean Easton, Todd Bowles, Sean McDermott. Hey, he worked wonders with the Toronto Huskies. Maybe he could come up here, help us. Oh, we got Jay Gruden. Nah, I don't think so. Kyle Shanahan. He already comes with expert scouting and increased. The memes say go John Gruden, but life also states that Shanahan come with 2 of those increased scouting, because we're going to go Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan makes the most sense, because as we control this as the team owner, right, we can't, upgrade our coaching rating. Like if we sign John Gruden, there's no way that I know how, or maybe you have to put the onus on the game to actually, imbibe those dev traits and all that stuff for the coach. So as far as I know, we're going to put in a bid here. We're going to put a bid here on Kyle Shanahan. Get the young wonder boy. Might have fallen on his face a little bit in San Francisco, but maybe Jimmy Garoppolo's never healthy. So we're going to come in. We're going to make him an offer. We'll go up here just a little bit. We'll give him 325, because obviously it's a quite a daunting task. And here's hoping that he does accept it. And if he doesn't, then we can look at our secondary options like Mr. John Gruden and like Mr. Sean McDermott. And we have done it. That is a huge get for our team before the Super Bowl, before that amazing Super Bowl matchup in Super Bowl 54 between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns. Kyle Shanahan has locked on to become the new head coach of the Oklahoma City Bison. Hats off to you. You got your work cut out. In breaking news today, the Washington Redskins and the NFLPA have reached an agreement to accept the Redskins organization back into a working relationship with the NFLPA under certain conditions. This comes after a season where the Washington Redskins have used replacement players to compete in the National Football League. Details of the agreement have been made known to the public, and the Washington Redskins will be relocating to Oklahoma City for the 2020 season. The drama does not end here, as NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who has been very public about his distaste for Dan Snyder, for the replacements, and has gone out of his way that in this new deal, from this reporter's mind, to stick it to Dan Snyder one last time. In a joint statement from Commissioner Goodell and NFLPA President Eric Winston, they quote, "We feel that although the sale of the Washington Redskins to Oklahoma City ends a chapter that has been nothing short of a black eye for the National Football League, we feel that Mr. Snyder's lack of remorse to the original punishment of ending our relationship with his organization due to a gross negligence to player safety, we have decided rather than sign the agreement right now ahead of the offseason to allow the Washington Redskins to act as members of the NFLPA, we will actually be deferring this and signing the papers at 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, April 25th. Mr. Snyder has made a mockery out of the draft process last season, deferring all of his picks to 2020, and that will not be rewarded." End quote. As far as branding is concerned, the copyright and trademark claims have been made for the Oklahoma City Bison team name and rights, so it looks like that will be the branding going forward, and I'm sure that more will come in the coming weeks of the post and offseason from this ordeal. But one thing is clear, that the Washington Redskins, in their transitionary period to the Oklahoma City Bison, will not have access to any sort of contract negotiations with the NFLPA until 10 p.m., an hour into the National Football League's draft, which then therefore vacates many of their first round picks, which vacates the ability to negotiate with free agents. A massive big FU from Goodell and the NFLPA to Dan Snyder. So this is going to be painful. You know, it was intended to be painful. Goodell and the NFLPA knew what they were doing. They knew that we're going to have, without a doubt, the hugest, and I mean huge-ist budget for this upcoming free agency period. You know, we're going to window shop. It's painful, but just looking at potential. I mean, oh my God, it writes itself. Nick Foles coming in. They'll be the Bison quarterback fresh off the tail of the replacements. You got Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler. At wide receiver, you got Will Fuller, 93 overall burner. Who wouldn't want to utilize that? Eric Ebron. You got Florida Gators on the offensive line. They were just tempting me with my Florida Gator bias. And they're dangling that carrot, knowing that we can't spend money. They're laughing. You know, the punishment to not Danny Snyder for all of those issues that happened with the improper medical facilities and stuff that caused the initial rift with the NFLPA. And, this is painful. This is painful because you'd have to say, hey, look at Randy Gregory. Giving criminals another chance is what we've built our entire franchise on since we've taken over. Randy Gregory would fit that void tremendously. Looking in the secondary, a lot of corners. But overall, though, this is not like an A++ free agency class. It's good. It's pretty good. 90% of these players would be, upgrades to our team. But, it's fine. It's fine. If the NFLPA, Roger Goodell, want to sit back and laugh as we sit here now with one player less, Willie Williams, the Miami high school football legend at linebacker, announced his retirement, so we're down even one more spot. Not all is doom and gloom, and there's something that's sitting with everyone that's right now in this Bison organization that has a smile on their face. I mean, every time we go to these team meetings and all this stuff in the offseason, everyone's laughing behind our backs because they know that we're going to be absolutely screwed when it comes to the 2020 season, our first year with Oklahoma City, because we're going to have to wait until all these big name free agents are signed. We're going to have to wait until, probably 2 of our first 3 first-round draft picks we can't use them, right? Because we can only draft people that have entered into this year's draft class, that have signed with the NFLPA. So that's what everyone's thinking. But I'll tell you right now, as we sound through these weeks, as we see all these incredibly talented, perfect fit free agents slip through the cracks of our fingers because of the goddamn NFL, just wait for the draft. Just wait for the draft, because above the relationship between the NFL and the NCAA, above the relationship between players and the NFLPA, one thing trumps, not just in the NFL, but in professional sports, and that's money. Just wait. Draft day is here. We still have clock's ticking. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock, and we still have about 45 minutes until the contract between the Oklahoma City Bison and the NFLPA comes to fruition, comes to signing, as we see Walker Little go off the board. The clock is ticking. 1 minute and 54 seconds. And, you know, we have to, like, are we going to have to trade this pick? I mean, right now, everyone's thinking we have to trade this pick. Look, we can get 2 first-rounders from the Buffalo Bills. There's multiple teams are offering us, you know, the ability to kick the can down the road. And, hey, you know, when those picks come up, maybe even that the 21st overall pick or even the 20th pick by Seattle. Like, all these teams are trying to extend that olive branch. I say, hey, you know what? You know, we get it. You do need to be punished a little bit, but we still don't think what has been done with the free agency and now costing you your first-round picks is necessarily fair. So, you know, here's some offers. And we're thinking here, you know what? Maybe we should take these offers. You know, maybe we should just do what's right, do the logical thing, do the right thing, perhaps, depending on what side of this debate you are on, and move back in the draft. But as the clock strikes down to sub a minute to go, this is why we had that smile on our face during the entire offseason. While everyone else was signing those big free agents, laughing at, you know, everybody in this room about, you know, who's going to go where, who can we possibly sign. There's big names here. What's the point if we use it on, you know, Raekwon Davis, Grant Delpit, Tua Tagovailoa, Jerry Jeudy? But there's a kink. What we have actually done. Just thank you. Soak it in. We cannot draft a player that is a member of the NFLPA. You have to enter the draft to become a member of the NFLPA. Trevor Lawrence is ineligible for the draft. Trevor Lawrence is just a football player right now. So what we have done, along with super agent Drew Rosenhaus, is worked out a kink, finding that loophole. Trevor Lawrence did not have to enter the NFLPA because, for all reports, he's ineligible. He has to have 1 more year of college football at Clemson. Therefore, the only workaround for us to invest our first-round pick in an actual college player is to get someone that was ineligible. Supposedly. Trevor Lawrence, redshirt. He's going to redshirt. He's going to go and finish up his, you know, 2.5 year, the equivalent of what you see when redshirt sophomores are able to declare. So he's going to miss the entirety of the preseason, but he will then leave Clemson, just become a college player that has all the necessary requirements to enter the National Football League, and he will jump right away to becoming the starting quarterback, the franchise player for the Oklahoma City Bison. Soak it in. And at this point, the NFL, they're trying to rush. They're trying to get the paperwork in because we still have 1 more first-round pick that is going to come before this brand-new contract, this brand-new agreement between Oklahoma City and the NFLPA come in. And we already have that next pick planned. And you know what? We're seeing it. We're in the draft room right now. We're ecstatic that we have pulled this big pick right over the eyes of the National Football League, right over the eyes of the commissioner of this league and the NFLPA president. And we're seeing this. We're like, okay, no more messing around here. Sign this contract, and we're going to have it go into effect right away. You know, we're going to take our time. We're going to sit and think about this contract. We got to read all the fine print. You know what I'm saying? Just give me you know, another 10, 15 minutes to make sure we can look it all through and agree that this is the right move with our lawyers. And maybe, just maybe, we'll sign it. We are here just a short 20 minutes later. We are roughly, you know, 5 minutes away from our original agreement with the NFL and the NFLPA for the Bison to enter back into, you know, a contractual agreement with the NFLPA. We got 1 minute 38 seconds. Little do you know that, you know, we're not going to sign shit. And Drew Rosenhaus has another player that was incredibly interested in going the approach of getting all your credits done during the offseason and the preseason. And then, you know, you might miss a couple games here, but ultimately you do not have to go through the draft process. Ultimately, you do not even have to go within the current NFL rookie pay scale. That is how we got a player of Trevor Lawrence's caliber. You know, where the rookie pay scale used to be, you know, you get $100+ million, as we saw that with going to Stafford and Sam Bradford and Jamarcus Russell. Well, because they're not a member of the NFLPA, that is how we were able to attract Trevor Lawrence, because he's not getting the same rookie pay scale that everyone else was. It's worth the risk for him to leave school early, to kind of buck the trend, kind of Maurice Claret everything. And we got one more player. Drew Rosenhaus is a tremendous agent, and he was able to, look at the wide receiver market. Laviska Shenault, Demetrius Robinson, Tariq Black, Donovan Peoples-Jones, T. Higgins, the teammate of Trevor Lawrence. But we were in discussions for the man that is regarded as the most electrifying player in college football. And we told him right now, we'll give you a pay scale that's bigger than the #1 overall pick for this year's draft class. And we're going to get you at 14. And he said, sign me up. So much like Trevor Lawrence, through that little bit of a loophole, we welcome Rondale Moore, wide receiver from Purdue, 77 star, 94 speed, 95 acceleration to the Oklahoma City Bison. Now, right now, here you go. Get this. Let's get this right here. Contract is signed. Hey, let's continue the draft. You want to mess with us? You want to affect this team that has no right to have any of the repercussions of its past, the Redskins and everything going on? You want to still carry that over, hold that grudge? Well, here you go. We just took the 2 biggest playmakers for next year's draft. We got them. Now we're a member of your contracts. Once the paperwork has already been filed with Trevor Lawrence, with Rondale Moore on the previous agreement, how we were previously able to acquire all of this talent, now we're going to have to abide by the NFLPA rules. So, hey, you want to take shots at us? This is what happens. You pay the price, NFL. You're never going to come out on top of not Danny Snyder. You're never going to come out top of the replacements. Let's go. All right, so now we're good. We are wearing our suit and tie. We are just members, active members, model members of the NFLPA. So now we are sitting here already with Rondale Moore and Trevor Lawrence as our signings. We're looking here, ETN, Jonathan Taylor. There's some very interesting options at running back. We need anything. To be completely honest with you, we need literally anything to come help our team. Offensive line would be pretty good. I don't know what this is. AN. Someone didn't get it all the way, but let's see here. Who is gonna be the best fit for our team? And you kind of look right now. I think someone like Patty Fisher. Patty Fisher could complete it, but we also don't really have a running back. You know what? Let's not overthink it. We need to move tickets. We need to put asses in seats. So we will go and we will select Jonathan Taylor, running back from Wisconsin. And he comes out as a 79 superstar player. We got 90 speed, 91 accelerate. I mean, this guy here is as good as it gets for a college football running back. Welcome to the team. Round pick number 2. We have a bunch of picks. We're going to go right up with the often injured but highly talented Trey Adams from Washington. 75 quick dev franchise tackle for the Bison. With our next second round pick, we're going to select Chase Lucas, cornerback from Arizona State. 75 star dev player, one of the best young college corners in football today. Welcome to the Bison. That dev trait. We are hitting on dev traits left, right, and center, which is exactly what you need when your starting spot is like a 40 overall team. All right, at pick 7 of the second round, we're going to take the biggest slipper so far, and that is Marlon Davidson, defensive tackle from Auburn. Regarded as a top talent at 34 reps on the bench press, sub 4.540, 77 quick dev. Marlon Davidson, shout out to Not the Expert. Welcome to the Bison. To continue to build the offensive line, we're going to look here at right tackle Calvin Throckmorton from Oregon, regarded as one of the better, more developing tackles. 71 normal, still starting quality for the Bison. Continue to build the offensive line. We got in the 3rd round Darrell Williams, guard from Mississippi State. 73 normal. Next up in the 3rd round, Colby Parkinson, tight end from what is becoming tight end U, Stanford. And he comes in 76 quick dev, big, gigantic, 6'7", 245. This guy here already looks like this safety net that we desperately need on our roster, along with Rondale Moore, for new franchise quarterback Trevor Lawrence. I love saying that. Next up in the 3rd round, we're looking at a safety linebacker hybrid from Clemson, Isaiah Simmons. He's going to come to us as a 73 quick, and we have a decision with his skill set to either keep him as a safety or a linebacker, but that is a tremendous problem to have for our DC and new head coach Kyle Shanahan. Next, add some balance to our wide receiver core. We have the speed of Rondale Moore, so let's get a big-bodied possession receiver, and that is the prototype that we get from Texas in Colin Johnson. 6'6", 220, comes in 71, quick dev. great size, great red zone matchup along with Colby Parkinson. For the last pick in the 3rd round, we are going to select very talented, Pro Football Focus All-Star cornerback Bryce Hall from Virginia. Comes in 73 normal dev. I like it. I like the size. I like the traits. 83 man coverage as a rookie. Love it. Continue to build on the offensive line. It may look like the skill set of Throckmorton, who we selected in the 2nd round, may be better suited inside as a guard. So we're going to look at Stanford, another team, kind of like we said Stanford was tight end. They've also been putting out a lot of really good offensive line prospects. So we're going to select Foster Sorrell, right tackle from Stanford. He comes out as a 75 quick dev player. So when all is said and done, here has been the coup de grace that we were able to pull over the league for our draft. Trevor Lawrence, Rondale Moore, 2 players that, hey, I don't know what we're gonna call it. Someone in the comments will be able to figure out what this can be. We've had the Canada Bill, we've had the replacements. I don't know what you could call this, but this is a huge win, and credit where credit is due. A lot of people like to shit all over Dan Snyder. Not Danny Snyder, for just how incapable of a general manager. But this was simply brilliant and maximizing the terrible situation that this Bison franchise was in at the very beginning of the offseason. Hey, you know what? Put it in plain, simple facts. We were playing. You're going to make us stick on this replacements rule. We kind of are handicapped. Well, we're going to go through replacements means to acquire talent. And there was no way that we're just going to give up the 2nd and 14th pick in the 1st round of the draft. So we were able to maximize that. And to finish it out by bringing in Jonathan Taylor, Trey Adams, Chase Lucas, Marlon Davidson, Throckmorton, Williams, Parkinson, and Simmons, Colin Johnson, Hall, and Sorrell, who you guys saw. And then we also were able to get in the 4th round Marcel Spears from Iowa State, who's a 71, Etchenberg from Notre Dame, 72, James Lynch, D-tackle from Baylor, 72, Reggie Walker, defensive end from Kansas State. We got some speed at wide receiver in Jeff Thomas from Miami and Melky Stovall from Cal. Both have 90-plus speed. And then Brian London. Hey, how about a nice little guy that was at one point a Heisman candidate in Khalil Tate from Arizona to come in and act as the backup to Trevor Lawrence. That is our draft. Now, I feel like that's how we'll end this. I feel like that's how we're going to end this. We'll open up the next episode, obviously, with how we're going to fill the rest of the team up in free agency. But there you go, man. I knew it. I knew all along we would get you hook, line, and sinker. Thought we're gonna have to get these picks. We're gonna kick the can down the road and get just severely less value than what these picks are warranted, because we weren't on paper gonna be able to draft anybody, and then we come out of nowhere, outsmart the league, get 2 20-year-old players. Hey, they're gonna miss the entirety of the preseason to finish up their school, get the recommended degrees and all that stuff. But this is gonna be a dangerous team. And let's just see, before free agency and all that stuff begins, we went from being a 40. We'll call it 45. I can't remember the exact number, to a 64, just like that. Are we still gonna have, massive boundaries? Like, we'd probably be able to get this team into the low 70s after we're able to sign some free agents. But are we still gonna have our backs against the wall this upcoming season? Absolutely. But there's no team I'd rather have my back against the wall with and swing for the fences than the Bison, better known as the Replacements. So thank you guys for tuning in to the off-season special episode. Make sure you guys tune in to the next one, because obviously that will be where we are signing the remaining free agents. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, I never. Not me, I never. Not me, I never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent.